We've been exploring the arcane laws. They're called the mysteries. And it's already been said that these arcane laws can be found behind the superstitions and embedded in the fairy tales and folk tales of all different persuasions. But let's see if we can find in this folk story the arcane lore that's very, very evident. Takimoto was a minister in the court of the shogun of the day in ancient Japan. And he was appointed to be a governor of the province of Edo. So when he went to take up his post as governor, as was the custom, the first thing that Takimoto did was take a group of local officials and go around to each of the shrines in that province to give honor to the gods of that particular shrine. Now, as they were traveling about, they passed what was obviously a shrine in great disrepair. It had vines growing over it and grass growing through the paving stones that surrounded it. So Takimoto took the group of local officials and he asked them, why is this temple, why is this shrine left in this state? Well, one of the elderly officials amongst the group said, well, my grandfather told me that the priests who took care of this shrine got into a lot of arguments and they fought. So the governor of the day withdrew his patronage to this shrine, and the priests eventually left it so that it now has become what it is in this state of disrepair. So he said, this must be at least a couple of 100 years ago, because my grandfather was already in his 80s when he told me this story. Well, Takimoto immediately ordered that this shrine be restored, and with his own hands he began to pull the weeds that grew between the stones. And he gave a stipend that allowed the shrine to be brought up to not only standard, but embellished to even what it was before. Now time went on, and Takimoto never ever received any indications in a dream or in any other way from the god of this shrine, but he eventually was taken back to the capital to be reappointed to another post. But strangely enough, the elderly official who had spoken up and told the story about the shrine had a dream. In his dream, he dreamt that a beautiful carriage drawn by magnificent horses drew up at his house, and the person inside the carriage called to him to come out. Now, the officials thought to himself in his dream, well, the only one who can call me, because I'm a very high official in Edo, would be the governor, and the governor's already left, so who could this person be who's calling me from this carriage? Anyway, in his dream, he got up, and when he went out, he saw in the carriage this man who was adorned and shining and obviously of some great import. So he bowed down in front of him, as was the custom when one comes into a person of higher standing than oneself. And the person said to the elderly official. "Do you know who I am?" And the official said, "No, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't know who you are." And the person in the carriage said, "Well, I'm the god who inhabits the shrine that the governor ordered to be restored. And since you were the one who told the story, I've come to you to tell you that I'm going to Kyoto to accompany the governor to ensure that his future is taken care of." Well, the elderly official, when he woke up, he told all those around him about his dream. Very significant, obviously. And then they did hear that their previous governor, Takimoto, was given a very high post in another province. Well, time passed, and the official, the elderly official, quite forgot the dream that he'd had. But then, surprisingly, one night again, he had a dream that the same carriage drove up to his doorway, and the same magnificent man who was in the carriage beckoned to him again. This time, in his dream, he hurried out and bowed in the customary fashion. And the man in the carriage said, "Well, do you remember who I am?" "Oh, yes," said the elderly official, bowing low with his head on the ground. And he said, "Well, I'm here to tell you that I've taken care of the governor. He's now established in a very high post in another province, so I've come to tell you that I've come back." So, after that, the elderly official told all of his other officials and everyone else who would listen about his dream, and of course they realized that this was very, very significant. And so they all took care to go to this shrine and to give honor to this particular god. Well, it became very well known that anyone who did honor at this shrine and gave honor to this god prospered afterwards. Their lives were better. Their luck changed. And they had harmony in their lives. Superstitions. Why are there patron saints? Why are there guardian angels? Why are there shrines to this god and that god and the other god? What is the sublime, arcane lore that lies behind these folk tales, these superstitions, maybe we could call them? Why do people give honor to patron saints, to gods in whatever form, in this shrine or that shrine, in any tradition, wherever you might go? What is the arcane lore, the mystery behind all of this? What validity does it have to go and give honor to and worship? What's our experience of this? What's been in our path when we too, along that path, have had a mentor, a chosen ideal, even a shrine, or an inspiration to go on a pilgrimage to this temple or that temple and do honor? What is the meaning of this? What is the lore that's behind this? Can we glean it from this simple folk story, coupled with our own experience? Certainly we can. Certainly we can. What's the meaning of devotion? What's the meaning of giving honor? What significance has it played in our lives?
It's like when we spoke about Bali, when we stay in the remembrance of God, there is something that stays totally open and so perceptive, I mean, from inside and from outside.
Yes. And something ensues from that.
It's a law of resonance.
Yes, you can say. Uh-huh.
It's like the vibrations stay always nothing close anymore when we remember
Uh-huh.
every time. So we can be open,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
I've noticed that devotion brings me a greater degree of receptivity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Opening, receptivity, what else? What else have we experienced from this?
Yeah, like attracts like.
Yes, these are the basic laws of life, like attracts like. But we're looking for the arcane law, the mystery behind these laws. But when we speak about openness and receptivity, we get a gleaming of it.
I think there's a part of our higher self that becomes strengthened when we get thanks externally too. There's something that comes inside that allows us to lift up our energy, and our teachers show us the way. So it's part of the continuous flow for me.
Mhm. So we have our own experience of this.
It's alignment. We know these words are really true in wholeness and really true in duality.
Let's keep with the arcane law. What is the mystery behind these superstitions? And our own experiences, to be drawn to a certain place, a certain shrine, a certain temple, a certain deities. Remembrance, yes. Affinity, vibrations, yes, all of that. But the law, the mystery.
What we focus on, we create. So when we focus on a deity or a symbol or a person, mentor, whatever, we create that energy within ourselves as well.
Yes, again, we're back to the law of attraction. And these are basic laws of life. This is not a mystery. These are the laws that are absolutely known in the physical world, aren't they? The law of attraction. Electromagnetism. We know these laws, how they work. But this is a mystery. Beyond these earthly laws that we know so well. Look for it now. When we become aware of it, we see it in life. We see it enacted. We know how it works. And thereby have the opportunity, the possibility of being able to grasp it. Right.
The wind of, what's it? The wind of divine grace blows constantly. Set your sails to catch it.
Yes.
sense.
Yes, right.
A la Ramakrishna.
I love it.
Is being open, in fact, everything we can see becomes divine.
Yes,
So in this openness, we can each, everything becomes
all right.
that.
We see this in practice, don't we? So when we
Probably
can, sorry.
renewal and reaffirm.
Yes, always in there, isn't it? Renewal and reaffirmation. Right? And then we begin to see it in everywhere. It's like, seeing a yellow cow. I haven't seen a yellow cow, but oh, now you see yellow cows everywhere. It's like this, isn't it? We become aware of this wonderful law that works in everything, in every persuasion.
Does it relate to that story of the album when you wrote a worship with Dodger?
Yes, yes. It's embedded in all of these stories such as this. But see it for ourselves. This is the great joy of our life. To now, having traversed this path of been to the shrines and done all of that and been caught in those levels and those laws, to arrive at this place where we are available to see the overriding laws, the laws behind why people do things and why life is the way it is. This gives us the great joy and leads us to what is called the one law, the Dharma, as the Buddhists call it. They say there's only one Dharma, and indeed there is only one law. But to discover these arcane laws, we inevitably arrive at this one overriding law that gives us the joy in every moment of our life. So look for this particular law. It's very simple, isn't it? It goes back to a very, very simple premise that everybody longs for, even when they're taking their last breath. They're going to call on some God or other to save him. In times of disaster, where do people go? They go to the nearest temple, church, shrine to pray to whatever God.
But in the superstition, it became a fear that
Yes.
if you don't do it,
If you don't do it,
you will
then of
not be
course
protected,
we see all
and
of this
God will be angry. That's
arriving,
what
of course,
it shifts after in the
and
superstition.
bring it down to yes. But we don't get caught.
I have a personal question about that. Why does it make me cry?
Because it's so beautiful.
Yes, but everyone don't cry.
No. But everyone wants to cry. Because it's that big. It's that big. It's that awesome, isn't it? It's that awesome. Makes you cry. So look for it. Look for it in the struggles of everyone as they bow and take their oranges or burn their dust sticks or whatever it is. Isn't it? Makes you cry.
It's like God accepts you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sorry?
God accepts you.
If you reach out in the smallest way, look at all the books, what do they say? Reach out in the smallest way and you get a gift, an answer. That's it. Isn't that great? Doesn't that make you cry? Yes, of course it does.
Cried when we got there. Stood in front of that giant heroes and years ago we were talking about that.
Yes, yes,
Did actually
yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
don't know, wasn't
No,
mental.
no, of course not. Find this law and rejoice in it. Behind all superstitions, fairy tales and folk tales. Here they are.
Sometimes do you think we
And chanting in yes.
Thank you.